Alright, and welcome inside to another edition of Keep It Real with Alexander Garrett. And my buddy, as always, is on the other line with me, Mr. Michael Myers. How are you, Michael?
Oh, wait a minute. I got some stuff I need to get taken care of here before we start. Okay, wait, hold it. It'll be just another 5-10 minutes. Wait, I'm getting this lined up. Hold on. I'm going live here. Hold on. Let me see what I got. Okay, we got Alex in the morning. There we go. All right, let me post this to Facebook. Let me get everything ready here. Hold on. Just post that to Facebook. All right, there we go. Got that. I think we're... Okay, wait a minute. Okay, yeah, I think we're... Oh, are we on the air?
We are on the air. How are you doing, good sir?
What the heck?
How's everything going today, okay?
It was, Alex. Oh. It's going fine.
That's good. Yeah. Same here. Yeah. And
yeah.
I'm doing okay. You know, I've actually wanted to show people and show you something very, very cool. Which is, and by the way, the audio on the live stream not working, so you'll have to hear it through the Spreaker podcast.
You're the baseball fan of the
This is Aaron Boone talking
I don't watch anything
Listen to this.
in the afternoon or evening but baseball, the Yankees.
Oh, that's awesome.
Son said I watched 100 and I forget how many games last year.
Oh, well, you and me both. Who played professional baseball? Kelly?
Yeah, I played a little minor league ball back in 1959.
Amazing.
Wow. What position did you play?
I played third.
So just, when I saw that video, Michael, I got a little choked up because, you know, my dad's in his, well, he's a little older, and, you know, we all miss baseball, but I kind of flashed back to going to games with him. That's why I clicked with him.
Oh.
So I just thought, you know, why not play it? But anyway, I noticed you changed your backdrop. What's up with that today?
Well, before we go there, let me tell you a little bit about what's going on with my show today.
Tell me.
Okay, it's no big deal. My second eldest brother, Dale, died a year ago. You know, there's things in my life that are important. You know what? I'm so sick of... Hi.
No, did he really die a year ago today?
I need to go back on my meds, I think. He really did. And I'm up here. And it'll be it's going to be kind of a cool show. We have some good memories. He was a trickster also.
That's,
Oh, camera's up there.
Well, I know you tried to call Mom before. Are you going to do that again, or?
Yeah, I will, because I was over there talking to her yesterday, and don't know if I should have I should have reminded her that today would be the 1-year anniversary since Brother Dale went home to be with Jesus, and he doesn't have to trespass anymore to go fishing. He's got permission everywhere he goes to go fishing.
You ever wonder that, like when they're up there, like they just keep doing what they were doing here, but free of any strings? I always feel like that's the case.
I think it's beyond imaginable. So for me to think it's the ultimate is, what's the ultimate in life? I mean, have we really even begun to experience the ultimate? There's times where, you know, I get a little giddy. I get to still be alive. I got a great wife. Had a young man yesterday stop over with his new girlfriend. They're on day now 12 of no drugs. He's excited. We went over and saw my mommy.
Oh.
It was really a pretty neat get together. Yeah. So
I bet. I mean, I can't.
Life is good.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
I just think it's emotional when
day?
you see your parents in this time and place. You know, it's like it's good that they're still there to see during with what's everything going on.
Yeah, and there was and we talked a little bit yesterday about sometimes how we think, you know, maybe we don't realize how bad or how good we have it until we realize how bad somebody else might have it.
Exactly.
We don't keep things in perspective.
I have a friend who's actually been featured because she's a prominent funeral director here in New York, and she's been doing a lot of different things for different families, and we all pray for her because imagine having to help those families through loss like that. That's unimaginable.
Yeah, that would be.
Because we're still
That would be very tough.
We're still technically the epicenter, so it's tough. Anyway, I'm glad that you're going to honor him. Do you have any video clips of him that you're going to play? Well, audio clips that you're going to play of him? Or?
No, you see, because of our new relationship, I don't get to do anything anymore except get on here in the morning, wait for you to say, "Hey, Mike, are you up?" "Oh, I'm not awake yet, Mike." "Maybe we won't do video." Oh, you're like a little brother to me. Got to be patient with him.
That's everybody's feeling about me, so join the...
Oh, is it really? Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, but that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and I don't mind. I mean, I should prepare beforehand, but I'm not a 7
Were your ears itching yesterday?
Well, I was trying to tune in a little bit, but I had other stuff I had to get to. What were you bad-mouthing me in the morning?
No, actually not. Actually, I was talking you up.
Well, all I read in the comments was he's a hoot, and I'm like, oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, a hoot's a good thing. A hoot's a good thing.
What's not? What words should I learn from you that you are dissing me when you say something?
It's just Alex. That's a general. You can use that with anybody.
It's
true.
Just.
Oh, by the way, I don't think I told you this, but I did. My brother-in-law, who was here 2 weeks ago or whatever, he tested positive for COVID. So I've been exposed.
So you have been exposed. Now, when are you getting your test?
Speaking of exposed.
What is that? Oh, I get it. It's the whole green screen thing. That's hilarious.
I did that just to test the green screen. I'm really having fun with Zoom. But to focus, what was it that you... And my... Got to focus too. What did you ask? Before I messed up.
About the... I guess... Oh, yeah, about the audio cuts, if you're going to do that for your brother, like if you have any audio from him.
No, but that's a great idea. COVID. I mentioned that my...
Your brother-in-law has it, and...
Yep.
I'm saying you should go test now, I mean, before you get symptoms or something.
Now this is interesting, because I should... Now, this is being recorded, and I'm actually simulcasting. So you just suggested that I go get tested. Ooh. You just suggested that I get tested for COVID. But I'm not showing any symptoms, so I'm not supposed to get tested. So I'll tell you what, Dr. Alex.
Yes.
Oh.
But Mike, isn't there like a law?
I could not get tested if I wanted to. I don't have any symptoms. I'm asymptomatic, which is why this is so bizarre that everybody... You could be carrying it yourself. You don't know.
That is true. But my question is, though, I thought if you were exposed, you would be automatically able to test, no?
How many people have been exposed and don't even know that they've been exposed? How many people have COVID-19 that we don't know about, that you've been around?
I'm going to say between, what is it?
Lots.
Millions of people probably have it and don't realize they have it.
So here's the bottom line. I don't know if you're I don't know if you're aware that there may very well be a push that everybody get the shot.
Right? No, that's true.
Okay, so is the government going to make it mandatory that everybody gets the shot?
Unfortunately, I think we're going to end up doing that. I hate to say it, but I just...
Well, I will not get the shot. Now what? You see, I see why Ed does what he does. I mean, Ed's on to something. There was a video that somebody shared with me. I wonder if I can pull that up and paste it in somewhere. And I actually had my wife watch it yesterday. And I'm not... Boy, I hope I didn't just... No, we're still good, right? I'm still there?
Yeah, we're still here. Can you see me,
okay.
Hear me?
Well, I can't because I went elsewhere. Because I wanted to find this...
Oh, you can do that. That's the cool thing about Zoom. Is like we can still be talking and be on other things. On other websites and all that stuff.
My ex-wife...
Oh, okay.
Sent me a link let's see, I don't even know if I can find it. Oh, never mind. Oh, wait, there it is. Wait for it. And this is... Nope, it's still up. It's called Dear Gatekeepers of Something or Other.
Okay.
Mickey Willis. Anyway, I'll send it to you.
Cool.
Here, how about if I just forward it, Michael? Oh. This, and I actually had my lovely wife sit down and watch this last night, and it was eye-opening. I mean, and again, is this all, what do they call that, conspiracy theory stuff? I don't know, but it's worthwhile watching.
Definitely.
Because I think we're being maybe a bit duped. What do you think?
I never wanted to say that about this, but I agree with you. I think we're being a tad duped, to be very honest with
you. You just said, I never want to say anything like that about this, but we're afraid to say anything. It's like, oh my gosh, if I say something, somebody's going to think I'm a wacko.
Isn't that sad? And even people questioning the numbers now are being called wacko. So.
Well, it's all about newspeak. It's like, if I say, have you heard the term newspeak?
Yeah, I have, yes, I have heard that.
Well, it's kind of sort of new. Anyway, I'm just to mask or not to mask.
Right. Oh, good. Okay, so we can actually spend the last couple minutes here on the stream, and I'll let my Facebook people hear what you got on the show today. Here we go.
Okay.
And I will get this better prepared tomorrow.
Yeah, because we really need to, I get up early in the morning for some, what you call show prep, a little time with my buddy John Knight, and this has kind of grown into a monster.
All right, well,
it's fun.
For those watching just now on Keeping It with Alex here on Facebook, we are live. Hello, Michael.
Hi. How's it going?
Mike Myers, Radio Hope. You can catch the rest of this conversation on my podcast page. But, Mike, I just wanted to bring you on here for a couple minutes to preview what you got going on at 9 a.m. Eastern.
Well, today will be a special show, a memorial show for my brother Dale Duran Myers, who passed away a year ago today, and I will be having my mom on for a short time. And got some songs pulled up here: Blackwater, Neil Young's Harvest Moon. And it'll be a, it might not mean as much to other people, but it will to me and my mom. So anybody else that might. Actually, no. When I was doing this show, I was going through all this stuff, and listeners become part of your family.
They do, yes.
And it's really pretty cool. So that's what the show's going to be about.
Michael, I've got one thing. Do you ever cry on the air when you deal with family issues like this? You do?
Yeah, there's times where I just have to play a song, and sometimes I don't even come back. I just, it's a short show, and I get a little worked up.
Good. That means you care a lot about the topic, so
that's why I don't do video.
Well, I'm glad you're doing it with me, so thanks, Mike, for joining me this morning. And guess what, everybody? I wanted to show you something I wasn't able to earlier in the hour with the the Yankees have had an incredible.
Alex,
I'm here. Michael.
Yeah, should I leave?
Well, do you have any final thoughts for our listeners?
No, I guess I'm done.
All right. Well, I love you, Michael, and we will see you
too.
Tomorrow.
All right.
Well. Bye.
All right. Bye.
So, Michael goes, Radio Hope at 9 a.m. Eastern, and before I get to my next big interview, I wanted to play to you something I had seen on, actually, TikTok, interestingly enough. It was Aaron Boone talking to this incredible couple about the Yankees. I mean, hopefully it loads up soon enough here. We'll have to see. As internet should be here, but we'll get there. We'll get there for sure. I've got Mr. David Allen Arnold, coming up next to talk with me and figure out, with me what we should do during the lockdown and what you can expect and his thoughts behind the Deadliest Catch project. Yes, the Deadliest Catch project. Okay, come on, work for me. Which you will see. And you know what? Let's get to that first because this TikTok page isn't opening for me. So let's get to the David Allen Arnold first because we had a very good conversation and it went a total of 45 minutes. Wow! So we'll play most of it up until 9 a.m. and then we'll maybe play the rest of it later today. Let's think about that. Hold on a second as we are pulling up the Zoom here with David. Okay, looks like we got something here, and recorded last night, so don't be alarmed if the imagery is a little different and the lighting's a bit different, but let's take it away. Well, I love bringing back folks that have been making an impact in the world and been really successful at it, and friends. I've made friends with a lot of these people I've had on, and David Allen Arnold is no exception. He is an Emmy-winning cinematographer. David, welcome.
Thank you, Alexander. It's great to be with you again.
And yes, you are an Emmy-winning, cinematographer, and you're part of the Deadliest Catch project. I know it's episode 4 tonight, and while you can't tell us that, right off the bat, tell us what that experience was like this time around, recording all those visuals.
Well, it was, as always, the Deadliest Catch is a life and death adventure. And the elements on Deadliest Catch are really dangerous. The water in the Bering Sea is so cold that if you fall into it, most people are dead within a minute. And in fact, season 1 of Deadliest Catch, someone fell out of one of the boats, and it was best case scenario because they saw him go. Sometimes guys fall out and no one knows, and then they suddenly realize later that one of them is missing, and that's it. There's no way they could even find, where they went. But it was best case scenario. So they saw this man fall out of the boat. So in that event, one guy runs to the rail, the side of the boat, and just does nothing but watch where he goes as they try to turn the boat around in the storm waves to get back to where he is, keep track of him and pick him up. So that was best case scenario. They saw him go. They watched him as the boat turned around. But by the time the boat got back to him, he was already dead.
Oh my goodness.
That's how cold the water is. That's how dangerous it is up there.
Well, and so how do people protect themselves from falling over? Like what kind of preventions do they take? And what preventions and measures do you guys have to take as the videographers?
Well, for us, a few years ago, I fly in the helicopter that hovers next to the boats while they're fishing. And we took everyone who rides in the helicopter to a Coast Guard school where we practice getting out of an upside down sunken helicopter in the ocean. And so we trained that way in a Coast Guard training facility in their swimming pool with one of their divers. And we wear Switlick life vests that are equipped with air bottles. So if the aircraft goes in the water, we have a oxygen supply we can use to try and get to the surface.
Beautiful.
And I wear an insulated helicopter flight suit to, if I do get in the water, to hopefully keep me warm enough to survive.
David, talking about David Allen Arnold. What's amazing about you is you are behind the scenes, but you're very much on the scene on Twitter and Facebook and social media. So do you find that people are, gravitating toward how your story is coming along, maybe more so than the stars of the show itself? Like, do you find more questions directed about cinematography than anything else about that show?
Well, what I find is that people love that anyone from a filming crew would take time to talk to them about how the show gets made or to show them behind the scenes. So if you go to my Instagram or my Twitter, you'll see videos from inside Discovery Bird in the cockpit as we're flying around the crab boats and filming for the show. And generally, people on social media never have access to that kind of stuff. And in the case of Deadliest Catch only comes on once a year on Discovery Channel. The rest of the year is spent filming and editing the show. So in between seasons, people don't have anything to really watch. And so I find that thousands and thousands of people just get so excited that anyone would share a glimpse of what's coming on the next season or what went into filming the new season. And to talk to them, because when you watch the show on Discovery Channel, you can't ask questions. You can't, the fishermen can't talk back to you as like you said, well, how is the conditions, and on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, you can get answers to those questions. People just light up when anyone takes the time to do that for them.
Absolutely. I'm going to try and pull up your thing to show on the screen here. What you are referring to, because you are David Allen Arnold on Airborne Camera. If you can't see that, sorry about that, but yeah, that's his Instagram with the helicopter up in the air. And David, that's not how we met, though. Tell us, for those who are new to this, podcast over the last couple of weeks, tell us why and how we first met and how that story is coming along as well.
Well, I have written a series of books. And so I use a company in Philadelphia to train me how to, do outreach to the public and communications. In this case, how to, sell the books and tell people what's in them. And so they took me to a seminar where I could meet with members of the media and talk to them about their shows and what's happening. And that's where I met you and was immediately just impressed with the way you carry yourself and how professional you are. And I knew when I met you at that convention that you were someone I wanted to try and keep in touch with. And so right away, to be able to click with you on Instagram and Facebook,
right,
and see what you're up to and see the pictures of you traveling through New York City and just doing your day-to-day things and the history of your life, I just right away fell in love with your story and all the positive things that you do every day. And
by the way,
so
that's
I'm
us right
glad.
there. I don't know if they can catch that on the recording, but there's us. There's your title, and there you are in the helicopter. So there you go.
Yeah. So just to be able to keep in touch with you on social media and find out what's happening in your life, in the case of the Corona lockdown, to see your imagery of, showing the streets of New York are empty and how crazy it is there. And just to be able to follow along in your journey is something I always look forward to on social media.
And as you know, when I post these, I don't sort of post them with gloom and doom. I try and say, hey, we'll rebound from this. I think that's the only way to approach this kind of situation, right?
Oh yeah, I love your upbeat, hopeful attitude, and I also like how you question what's going on and whether or not we're doing the right things and stuff.
Well, and that is the next big thing. I've sort of believed that now we're kind of letting government become the parent telling us what to do, and I'm very wary of letting that continue.
Yeah, I think everyone in America has a little bit of the hairs on the back of their neck stand up when they see that police and sheriffs and governors are preventing people from buying seeds, from planting gardens, from going to the beach. And I think it's a legitimate question for people to ask. If our government is telling us to go inside and stay inside a cool, dark, space of our homes where viruses flourish,
right,
versus going to the beach where the sunlight is known to kill the virus, I think people are rightly questioning, like, wait a minute, how do these restrictions have anything to do with improving our health?
Right. And so I don't like using this. I don't like even saying this, but it's true. I just feel like we're being hijacked right now because of the virus. It's very, very scary.
Well, I can tell you, I live in California. In California, 40 million healthy people have been locked down. Meanwhile, there's no evidence that taking away our civil rights while we are healthy and able to go to work, do our jobs, earn paychecks, feed our families, there's no evidence that that does anything to improve the health of the people in California. And
the world,
if
actually.
Yeah, if you saw in the news, our governor got into hot water because he's had the healthy population of California locked down for 2 months now, and people are starving. And he publicly expressed his outrage that people were trying to go to the beach in California. And anyone who knows anything about the coronavirus knows that that's probably the healthiest thing you could do, because the virus doesn't survive in sunlight and with heat. And so he lashed out at the people of California and ordered, the communities had decided to leave certain beaches open, and he ordered those communities to close their beach. And everyone knows that that is extremely fascist and suspect and does no one any good and has no bearing on the coronavirus.
It's infringement is what it
And
is.
so he has announced that the next week he's going to have them reopened.
Oh yeah, I heard that. So I
And,
guess he's not under pressure then, because I'd seen by Friday he's going to open different things up now.
Yeah, so he all of a sudden completely reversed his position and said, "Oh, I'm opening the beaches," and that's BS. What I know, I mean, anyone who watches what's going on can clearly see that he did a terrible thing to the people of California, and they pushed back. And he got pressured. I mean, I can just imagine the conversations, with wealthy residents of the beach communities on the phone with his staff going, "We will find someone to run against you the next election."
I agree with that one.
I'm sure that's probably why he suddenly changed his position and said he was going to let people go to the beach again.
Okay, and to be clear, I don't exactly think New York City should go to the beach right now. We are the epicenter. But David, you've been here. You love the city. What kind of words of encouragement can you give us New Yorkers that are sort of under the same pattern here?
Well, I mean, being in a congested city like New York City is has a very specific set of problems. I live on an acre. You would consider this a city park where my house sits. Around my house is nothing but open space and woods. So for me, the coronavirus epidemic is a very different experience from living in a congested city, right, where you rely on subways and buses just to travel and get to and from work. What I foresee is that absolutely we will rise above this. And I think, forget the news, because I think the news has been trying to mislead people about the corona epidemic. I think people can see for themselves when their leaders are doing the right things to help them and when their leaders are doing the wrong things. And honestly, I think that over time, people are going to begin to look outside of the major cities because of some of the things that have happened during the past 2 months. And I predict that a large number of people are going to, in the next 10 years, are going to move away from the big cities and find a way to live comfortably, in a more, spread out environment where, like you could do your show from anywhere. I mean, it's great that you're in the media capital, but the reality is you could be anywhere and be on the internet and streaming to people.
Right now, this is the perfect example right now.
Right.
So I get you there. And, your mayor in LA looked a little more insane than de Blasio at the beginning of this, saying, gun businesses may be shut down. And if we don't, then I heard he's going to turn off the water and heat on it. It's getting crazy. But I think de Blasio has topped that by saying we have to enforce the cops. Like, I never liked the word enforcement, especially in America. Right? We don't like that word.
Well, here's the kicker. Where I live, we're not having the same experience that New Yorkers are having. So in California, more people are killed in car accidents than have died of coronavirus. And so I know that our governor, our mayors are going to be coming under more and more pressure as they literally starve the people.
Mm-hmm.
And, as I said on Facebook last week, do the police even realize that by locking up the healthy, hardworking taxpayers and preventing them from going to work, they're also preventing them from paying taxes, and taxes pay for the police.
Right.
So I think anyone who can do simple math in their head knows that we're looking at a situation where the cities and counties and states that have locked down their population are not going to have even half of the revenue that they had last year to pay for police, firefighters, and everything else.
Well, and I would say, because you've had experience with bad judges recently, if you don't mind me saying that, you've been posting about that a lot. But now we're seeing judges like truly clamp down on people too, right? I mean, that effect is happening as well.
We're seeing a lot of people in government wield a really it's just a fascist power. To tell people that when they're in Home Depot, they're not allowed to buy seeds or home improvement products, while telling them that they're not allowed to go to work and earn money, is insane. And any state, any city, any county that is being heavy-handed with the taxpayers is going to find themselves probably out of money, and very quickly. Probably in the next 3 months, you're going to see a lot of major cities and states either filing for bankruptcy, or at the very least, cutting their budgets by 30 or 50%, because they're simply not going to have people who live where I live in California have no ability to pay their property tax. You're talking about the majority of workers in California haven't been allowed to go to work for 2 months.
David, I've got to ask you.
Forget their mortgages. There's no way they're going to be able to pay property tax bills.
I want to turn this conversation to you as well, because you're a tax-paying citizen and you're a hard worker. Have you been shooting still during this quarantine different aspects? Like, are you still taking videos and all that? And secondly, have you found any trouble with the cops trying to shoot different things?
Well, yeah. All of my TV shows have been locked down. So when the coronavirus hit, I was working on a TV show in Miami, and the TV show lost all of their location filming permits. So we just literally couldn't go out and film because the local regulators wouldn't allow us to. And so my industry is shut down. And I would say well over probably 2/3, maybe even 3/4 is my estimation. 2/3 to 3/4 of people who work in film and television are out of work right now.
But how are you doing to keep busy? Are you still shooting things in your own area, like just for fun even, or for Instagram, Twitter? Are you still doing some videoing?
I have a tremendous amount of content that I put out on social media. And so I've been showing behind the scenes clips from Survivor, from Monday Night Football, from the Deadliest Catch. And I actually gained probably 200,000 followers since the epidemic began. I think because more people have time to watch, and look at stuff on social media.
Right.
But so for me, I've been very busy, sharing those things with the public, and also working on my third book.
Very cool. I want to preview that with us while I have you.
What's that?
Want to preview that third book while we have you, and maybe give a summary of the other two that you've written for people to take away?
So what's going to happen is my first book, Help from Above, is about my experience. My whole life really starts in my childhood and it ends culminates me flying in helicopters for the Deadliest Catch, for the World Series, for Super Bowl. This is Discovery Bird on the cover. That's the helicopter that we hover next to the crab boats during the Deadliest Catch. My second book is the reason I'm writing books. It is a true crime story of corruption and organized crime that I found at a school bus stop near where I live. And I fought with them for 5 years to get the gangsters away from the children. And in 2014, I found the body of one of the victims that they had murdered hidden behind the school bus stop. And that story is in this book. My third book will continue this story because the corruption was only starting when we found the kid murdered behind the school bus stop. And it got worse from there. And so I named names in my true crime book. And what's interesting about this is none of the crimes in this book have been investigated by police.
Weird. Yet
these are open cases.
Yet they're locking in social distancers, right? So that's kind of how we are today.
Well, let's just say I have witnessed a lot of corruption in our government officials, including murder, including racketeering. And in my situation, it was at a school bus stop, which was very upsetting to me. And so one of the only weapons that I had against them was to do what you do, which was to tell the truth. And so I put that story into the book. It's called What Lies Above the Clouds. And my next book is called Hell to Pay. And I will tell more of the story of the gangsters at the school bus stop and the terrible crimes that we discovered as we investigated on our own, as private citizens.
Hey, David, Alan Arnold, tell me and tell the listeners that this is not, woohoo, I wrote a book and I just want to get my story. This is very complicated. It has a lot of consequences, and it sort of threatens your life, doesn't it, by naming all these names?
Oh, absolutely. It just imagine your favorite gangster movie, Goodfellas or Godfather, and imagine, in Goodfellas, there's like a dry cleaner store where all the gangsters hang out and run their business. And imagine if the neighbor across the street started protesting against them and photographing them and taking records of them. And in my case, writing a book about them and naming them in the book. That's exactly what has happened here. This is the first time an organized crime ring has ever been called out and named in a book. And it's on Amazon. People can buy it and read it. So it's in the public record. And it is, I'm very honest about how questionable that is to do for your own safety. But I also feel that sometimes when you know something is wrong and it shouldn't be allowed, in this case, a gangster business at a school bus stop, we all have a choice to make. We can either choose to look the other way and leave the children in harm's way, or we can do what I did, which is to say, you know what, I don't care what happens next. I'm going to call this out because the public needs to know what is happening at a gathering place for small children.
Well, I'm going to title this show, Hoarding Information. And so I realized that I wanted to return a book back to where I found it because it was so inspirational to me. I didn't want to hold on to it, so I gave it back to where I found it. Now it's like, well, if we have information, why do we hoard it? Why do we keep it to ourselves? And you're, I think, inspiring us not to keep it to ourselves anymore.
Well, I'm definitely proving that even in the face of murderous corruption and organized crime, where they are making over $100 million a year with an illegal business at the school bus stop, even with that level of murderous corruption, you have a weapon. And it could be as simple as you taking your phone and filming and recording what's happening there and then putting it on YouTube. Or in my case, writing a book about it and going out on social media and calling attention to it. We all have weapons now. I mean, that's what the Me Too movement is. The Me Too movement is women who suffered in silence with no recourse for generations. They had no weapon against the rich and powerful. But in today's world, they don't need a green light for their documentary, they can simply put the truth on YouTube. They can simply put the truth on Facebook or Instagram. And so this is a very powerful time to be alive. And I can tell you from experience that the agents of corruption, the agents of government, who historically have gotten away with murder, are not prepared for the new world that we live in. And you can see it every day. That's what the Me Too movement is. The Me Too movement is guys getting caught doing what they have always done and not realizing that in today's world, they can be exposed.
Very much so. And I tell you what, we're going to pick that rest of that conversation up tomorrow. About 20 minutes left, but I want to respect the fact that Radio Hope, 9 a.m. Eastern, is up next. So tune over there. You'll hear the rest with David Allen Arnold tomorrow. Have a great day here on Spreaker. We'll talk to you soon.